Okay, new angle, new aspect, no pun intended, a new part of the build. As you can see, hopefully, I've started on the top of the roof or ceiling of the trailer. I needed something before I could start making this piece, because I've known all along that I wanted a skylight, a window in the ceiling, in the roof of the caravan. And I played around for some time with making some kind of plexiglass plastic window myself, but eventually I thought I wanted something that was openable, possible to open, and I wanted something that would work. So I looked around. Actually, you can buy these new, but I looked around at the scrap yards here in Sweden, and I found one which is in really good nick. It wasn't inexpensive. It was like 20% lower than actually buying a new one, but I saved a few bucks. So this one cost me approximately $100 or 100 euros, around there. And you know, it has all the features that it should have. It's possible to open and shut at different angles and things like that. So I'm quite pleased with that. You can see from the glue here that it's been used before, but it's looking all right. It's in good shape. Now I needed that piece to know how big a hole I should make in the panel. Now, as I mentioned before, this is all flat. Whichever way you look at it, it's flat. And then it starts to curve gently down like that, but it's flat going that way. So it's not a difficult piece in that sense. I also want to show you that what I of course got when I opted for the professional piece, the prefab piece. So I have my bug screen, and I have, you know, the ability to close it if you don't want light coming in. So this piece is going on the inside of the ceiling eventually. It's looking a little bit wobbly right now, but I hope once I get it welded in. I've done some wheeling at the outer edges as it comes down, because it's actually beginning to slope both ways. But apart from that, not much shaping to that panel. But once I got that in, I can keep on working with, you know, where the side meets the ceiling, the roof of the caravan. So interesting. Also, I must say, I like this shape, you know, where it's kind of, you know, air. I'm at a loss for words right now, but you know, you can see that it's gonna have a lot of drag. So it's there's not much resistance in the air, and it gives it a good shape as well. So good, nice. Yeah, another piece in place. This was a bit of work. I did it the wrong way around. I started bending the sheet before I made this, which made it more difficult. I should of course have started making this flange and then bent it. But now it's there, and I want to show you this from another angle. Now this, to me, is rather exciting, and it gives maybe even you a feel for the shapes of my teardrop. Nice. One side done, pretty much, which I guess means that about a third of the paneling is done. I don't know if you will be able to hear this, but because of the trailer being the way it is now, there's an echo when I'm speaking. It's like I'm in a big church or something. I'm still in the workshop, still in the garage. This panel actually turned out to be straighter and flatter than I kind of imagined, and it's really hard to know exactly. There is some compound shapes up here, but down here it's pretty much just a bend. I don't know if you can see, you probably can, that I'm still an apprentice. I'm still trying to get it right, not always succeeding. Also in this instance, knowing that it's going to have a paint finish, I sometimes sell for what I've achieved. You can judge me on that whatever way you like. But you probably can see here that the panels doesn't really meet each other the way they should. Now this here is a pretty flush meeting, but down here I have a valley coming down. And if it was to be the finished surface, that just wouldn't do, I guess. But it's not. So I'm going to have to fill that out eventually. It's not really deep, so there won't be a lot of filler, but they kind of slope. One reason is that I'm always aiming for the rods, you know, that I've bent. And sometimes that happens, but of course then again I just have too much compound shape, especially in this panel. I tend to overdo it a bit sometimes, which is just more work and really no point to it, or working against yourself. But one side.